It's a lot of pressure being put in the public eye as an adult. Now imagine how much more pressure that must be for a kid. When you consider all of that, it suddenly becomes less surprising that child stars often hit rock bottom by the time that they reach adulthood. The good news though is that most make it out and are able to live happier, healthier lives in the end. In no particular order, here are famous kid stars who went off the rail. To start off with, the king of pop impersonator himself, Corey Feldman. At just 3 years old, Corey had appeared in over 100 commercials. However, this isn't something Feldman recalls with pride. When talking with the AV Club, he described this moment of his life as child slavery. Now, Feldman seemed to have been born to the wrong set of parents, as his father was just not around and his mom stayed abusive allegedly. And having to grow up with that kind of pain and emptiness, Feldman ended up with his first foray into the world of drugs, and that would occur in 1986 while he was on the set of the movie Stand By Me. From then on, it was a long raging battle with substance abuse. To make this sad story even worse, Feldman also revealed that he was molested at a certain age by a young man whom his father had hired to keep an eye on him while he was on set. He finally got emancipation from his parents at the age of 18, but not before the duo squandered his entire earnings, as Corey claims, leaving him with a pittance of $40,000 only. But even on his own, Feldman has struggled with substance abuse, and it would continue to grow from cocaine use to heroin. He eventually got sent to rehab in 1990 and claims he's not used hard drugs since then except for one relapse in 95. Currently, Feldman's happily married to his longtime girlfriend Courtney Ann, and the two had tied the knot in November of 2016. Coming up next, Lindsay Lohan. Now, Lindsay Lohan's claim to fame was the 1989 movie Parent Trap by Disney, and that was really what established her as an A-lister. But where she really became an A-lister, in my opinion, would be the 2004 movie Mean Girls. Sadly for this child star, though, her fall from grace was very swift and as much as her rise. In a few short years after she shot the movie Mean Girls, Lohan went from sweet angelic child star to an uncontrollable mess. 2005, she was partying so excessively she had to be hospitalized from exhaustion, and was consequently advised by her doctors to cut down on the partying. 2 years later, and was arrested twice for driving under the influence and sentenced to 3 years of probation. A year later, in 2008, she got sent to rehab. By 2010, she got a 90-day jail sentence for violating her 2007 probation sentence, even though she only spent 2 weeks in jail. Amazingly, she went from jail to rehab in 2011, got herself tangled up in another court case, this time for felony grand theft when she was accused of stealing a $25,000 necklace, and for that she got a 120-day jail sentence along with 480 days community service, but she ended up spending most of her jail sentence under house arrest. There were more cases in the years that followed, but thankfully Lohan mostly avoided getting into any legal trouble in 2014. Still, it would appear Lohan has a knack for attracting drama even when she isn't actively doing anything. Somehow a list she'd written while in rehab about her hookups got leaked, sending the internet agog. And she also came out to say that she suffered a miscarriage, unfortunately. Another heartbreaking moment in the Hollywood celebrity life was her nasty divorce with husband Igor Tarabasov in 2016. Tarabasov was a Russian business mogul, and Lohan had allegedly been assaulted, and that led to her wanting to get a divorce. Right now, Lindsay Lohan lives in London and has made it her life's mission to help out refugees from the country of Syria. The story of Drew Barrymore would seem far-fetched even if it was acted in a movie, and the Hollywood celeb was a child of Hollywood royalty and began her life on the big screen from the age of 11 months. However, things took a deep nosedive into the utter chaos super early for Barrymore, who at 7 years old already started to pour Baileys over her ice cream. And unsurprisingly, before she was a teen, Barrymore developed a drinking problem, after which she became a drug addict at 12. By 13, she was cutting and had to be hospitalized. 14, she was legally removed from her parents' custody, but as devastating as this story is, it's not even half of Barrymore's sad growing up stories. Barrymore was unbelievably cute during her heyday as a child star, and her role in the Steven Spielberg movie E.T. was what skyrocketed her to stardom. and she was adored by audiences world over, both old and young. But all the while, trouble was brewing at home with her violent father and irresponsible mother. In fact, with all that was going on around her, especially her issues with drug and alcoholism, Barrymore said she really thought that she would be dead at 25. Luckily for the beautiful celebrity, she did not pass away. She's now 46 years old and has 2 beautiful children whom she absolutely adores. And a new show. Danny Bonaduce. Known for his role as the ginger cousin in the musical sitcom The Partridge Family, Danny Bonaduce began his career as an actor at an age of 10. He'd appeared in a couple of shows, Going Ape and The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, before he got to play Danny Partridge on The Partridge Family. Bonaduce had a troubled childhood with his abusive father, who was also into the TV business, but things got significantly worse for the child star when The Partridge Family ended after its 4th season. Bonaduce got entangled with drug use and, according to him, even became homeless by the time he was a teen. Growing up, Bonaduce would be arrested many times on drug charges. Currently, Bonaduce's married with 2 children, and he hosts a morning talk show at the Seattle radio station KZOK-FM. Next one is doing well and married London Tipton, and that is Macaulay Culkin. Now, he's perhaps the most popular child star of his time, and he had it all, but as usual, there was, of course, a price to pay. Culkin was the first ever child actor to be paid $1 million, and it was for his follow-up role in the movie My Girl. He also holds the record as the 2nd youngest celebrity to host SNL at the age of 11. And in fact, Culkin became the envy of all boys at his age at the time when he practically became best friends with Michael Jackson. The duo were so close, Culkin would become godfather to 2 of Jackson's children. Culkin literally had the world at his feet, but all was not very well at home. His father had a hot temper and he was cruel, and Culkin had reason to believe that his father was jealous of his success because of his early successes, which his father had not been able to record all his life. But as puberty came for Culkin, so did a career fall. Now gaunt and hollow-eyed, Culkin decided it was time to walk away from it all, telling his parents just not to expect more money from him. As a teenager, Culkin made a series of bad decisions, from dabbling into drugs to dropping out of high school so he could get married at 17, only to get divorced 2 years later. By the time he was 24, he got busted by the police for possession of hard drugs, including marijuana, Xanax pills, and clonazepam pills. And 40 years old, Macaulay Culkin has gotten his life back on track, married to Brenda Song, London Tipton. He's cleaned up well, and he's doing a great job with everything. The duo actually recently, about a year ago, greeted their first son named Dakota, named after Culkin's deceased sister. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please leave a thumbs up if you liked it, and we will catch you in the next video. Please don't forget to sub.